Hey, it's Sri here. In today's video, I'm going to talk you through a couple of really important steps you need to take if you want to go about rebuilding trust with your husband. Now, I know that right now you've been probably on the receiving end of infidelity, or you've had to deal with some form of betrayal from your husband. And if you are on the receiving end of that, my heart aches for you because I know how difficult it is. But I really want to make sure that you watch this entire video, because in order to really ingrain a lot of the changes that we need to make, we've got to be focused, we've got to be diligent, and we've got to follow through. That's really, really important. People like Laurie, Angie, Monique, Sarah, Kristen, all these incredible women that I've worked with over the years who've been able to create massive shifts in themselves and within their marriage. A lot of it comes down to just your ability to be diligent and to put the work in. So make sure you watch this entire video so you can begin to apply the steps that I'm going to talk you through shortly. And make sure you hit that subscribe button below and click on that bell notification as well, so every week you get access to my latest videos where I talk more about infidelity and how to heal from it, how to really maximize your chances of saving your marriage, and really learn a lot about male psychology as well, so you can really start to apply the best possible tactics you can to be able to communicate with your husband in the most powerful way possible. See, one of the biggest issues when it comes to trust is it's not about the fact that we don't trust the other person. It's that we don't trust them and we're praying for them to change. I want you to think about that for a second. We're praying for them to change. See, in my experience, I've often seen a lot of people who have dealt with a husband for the last, X number of years. And there have been signals and signs of a lack of trust for a long period of time. They've seen that they've lied to them all the time. They've noticed that they've gone off and done silly things on a regular basis, that they don't honor their commitments, that they might be a masculine man, they might hold a lot of masculine energy, but they're experiencing the opposite of what the masculine energy is really all about. They're not able to operate with integrity. And so what happens is that they start to act in ways that go against what you're really actually wanting in a man, in a masculine man. There's constant lies, there's constant deceit, there's constant betrayal. Or even if it's just been a couple of times. You may have noticed over the years that there's a few instances and a few red flags that have appeared. And so if we take all of this into consideration, the real truth is that it's not about trying to rebuild trust, as it is that we're actually trying to change the other person so they can adapt to the kind of behaviors that we're actually desiring. And look, understandably so. Why wouldn't you want someone who you can actually trust 100%? It's a very normal thing to want. After all, I wouldn't be in the marriage that I'm in right now if I didn't trust my wife 100%. So it's normal to want that. But the real thing that we're actually trying to do is trying to get that person to change, to realize a number of things, to be able to own up to some of the things that they've done in the past. And then once they've done that, then we can be free. But here's the thing. Trying to change another person is a very, very difficult task. We can influence at best, but to try and change them is a different ballgame altogether. So, how do we go about rebuilding that trust? How do we actually go about creating those shifts? How do we go about transforming? Well, I'm going to talk you through two really important steps right now to start that process. Now, the first point I want to make is that you have to be dirt level honest regarding the values of your husband. You have to take some time to really understand the real values behind your husband at the moment. How does he operate on a regular basis? If you were to look at the small things that happen in everyday life, what happens? Is there lots of lies? Is there lots of kind of cheating? Do you notice that there's a lot of stuff that happens on a regular basis? Not just with you, but with other people as well? Are you noticing that he may have said that he's gone to work, but actually he's gone and hung out with some mates? There may not have even been anything bad, but are you observing that kind of behavior? Obviously, has there been engaging in any infidelity? If there has, well then that's a case of him going against the sort of values that you hold as a person. You've got to look at all of these behaviors and understand the whole picture. And that's really the first kind of step, if you like, is becoming aware, understanding his behaviors and whether those values as well that he operates with, whether they're in alignment with you as a person. Once again, I know this is hard to hear, and I'm not even saying at any point that you need to do anything about it as far as like leave him or anything like that at this moment in time. What I want you to at least become aware of are those fundamental values by which he operates. If you can understand that, that then allows you to move into the second step, which is that you have to learn to trust in yourself. Now the thing is that in my life, there are people that have come throughout the years, and I'm not even talking relationships, but in other areas of life as well, where I've had a gut feeling about them. You know, there's something that just doesn't sit right with them. You see, I always look for the little things in people, the little behaviors, and whether they're in alignment with who I am as a person. And each person has different values. My values might be a little bit different to yours, and it's not that they're better or worse or anything like that, they're just different. And so we've got to really understand and look for those little behaviors. And when I see those little behaviors, and I think, okay, this means we're not quite in alignment here, it just means I don't 100% trust them. Now, does that make them a bad person? No, not at all. It just means we're on different wavelengths, if you like. So if I'm in a position where I don't trust that person, I'm okay with that. I make peace with that, and I honor that in terms of my decision-making process around how many times to interact with them and so on. Now, obviously it's going to be a little bit different in relationships versus, when it comes to people that you know, acquaintances and so on, because you've had more time and there's more emotional energy that's kind of invested in your life together. So you're not going to want to scrap that completely, but becoming aware of it's important. As you become aware of it, then it comes down to making sure that you actually trust in your own decision making. So if you're at a place where you're like, you know what, I actually genuinely don't trust this man at all. Like he's demonstrated all of these behaviors over the years, and I don't know if this is the right thing for me anymore. Then you need to make sure that you're doing the necessary healing on the inside, so you can effectively get to a place where you can say, you know what, I don't know if this is the right marriage anymore for me. Now, I know that's a hard thing to sort of even digest at the moment. I'm not suggesting right now that you need to leave him, but all I'm suggesting is that you need to have really, really clear visioning around what's actually happened, around the behaviors over, X number of years. You've got to be clear around that. That's so important, because I see a lot of people who, they've seen these behaviors for years. They often feel like they're not good enough on the inside. And so even though they don't like those behaviors, it's almost a reflection of what they feel on the inside. So if you feel like you're not good enough, well, then you're going to be treated in a way that mirrors or aligns with your belief that you're not good enough. So we've got to be mindful of that. We've got to be conscious of that and become aware of it. And that's why I always say a huge part of this overall journey that you're on is about elevating you and becoming the very best version of yourself. Healing you, going deep into your own transformation, going deep and remembering that you are enough just as you are. Because as you recognize that and as you understand that, then you're going to raise your standards as a person. You're going to elevate yourself and go, you know what? I deserve the best. I deserve to be treated in a beautiful way. I don't deserve to be treated, poorly all the time and be cheated on and screwed over financially and whatever it is. You deserve to be treated magnificently, and you've got to believe that, because if you don't believe it, no one else will. You've got to own that in yourself, and it's such a key point. And I know it's hard, and I know that sometimes it's a little bit scary, like embarking on that journey, because effectively what we're doing is we're shifting who we are as people. We're creating almost a different identity. You're going from being this person who is maybe feeling inadequate and feeling unloved and unworthy, and now it's like, no, this is who I am. I am amazing. I am loving. I am joyful. I am happy. All of that good stuff. And then as you do that, what will happen is you will then be able to make peace with the fact that you may have a lack of trust with that person. Does that make sense? If I feel like I'm enough, then I'm going to trust in my own decisions, which means that if I've got a person in my life who I 100% don't trust, then I'm going to trust the fact that I don't trust them, as opposed to going, I don't trust them, but I really want them to trust. I really want to trust them. You know, I want them to change so that we can have this happy life together. And that's beautiful, and I understand it, and I respect that. But some of the times, some of these individuals, they're well on their way, and it's very difficult to just get them to change overnight. You've got to sometimes accept that as an individual. And that comes down to your own levels of trust in yourself. Do I believe that this person is capable of shifting? Now, if you do believe that they are capable of shifting, if they're a good person, if they've got good values but they've just strayed a little bit, that's great. Then what happens is you have to start making sure that you allow yourself to maintain an open heart as they're working through this process. Because sometimes what I find is that people want, you know, to change. Their husbands may want to change, and they start doing all these wonderful things. But then what happens is the wife often gets to a place where she's like, you know what? I just don't trust it. I need you to keep doing these things over and over and over and over and over. And what happens after a while is that they start to get frustrated, thinking, it's never enough. No matter what I do, it's never enough. It's almost like the bucket that keeps filling up. It's got a hole in it. It just keeps emptying all the time. So that's why we have to make sure that you're also allowing yourself and creating the space for him to be able to demonstrate that he's ready to create those shifts for you, and actually is reaping the rewards, I guess, of it as well. And that's where, once again, the internal healing is such an important part. Because as you heal, you're going to open your heart completely. As you open your heart completely, then what's going to happen is that you're going to embrace the changes that he's making, the shifts that he's making as well. And that's, once again, a lovely thing. We've got to allow people to shift. People can change. Transformation is real. But I think it's all about patience and making sure that we consistently do the work. That is really, really important. And that's exactly why I've produced my program, The Authentic Relationship System, which is, it's an amazing program. It goes deep. You know, a lot of stuff out there is very superficial, but for me, depth is so important. We want to go deep. Transformation can take time. And so if you are looking for an approach that's really going to stand the test of time, that's going to allow you to create proper shifts, that's going to result in you feeling like, wow, like I feel like I've really reclaimed myself, and I feel like I'm being the very best version of myself, and I finally just feel that I'm back. Then, you know, this is the place to be. This will be an amazing adventure for you and an amazing experience for you. So if you are, you know, needing some support, some guidance, and you want to be part of a beautiful community of women plus me, who you know are there to support you every step of the way, who will be your biggest cheerleaders, who will hold your hand through this journey and really hold you to a certain standard as well, so that you can experience the joy and the love that you truly deserve, then, you know, I'd love to be of service to you. So all you need to do is, in the description section below, just click on that link which just says book a call with me. Just click on that link, choose a time that works for you, and then I'll contact you at that scheduled time, just so I can learn a little bit more about your situation, understand what's been going on in your world, and I'll be really, really privileged and honored to be able to serve you on this path. So once again, just click on that link, choose a time that works for you, and then I'll give you a call. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you've liked it, make sure you hit the like button below. If you want to get more videos like this, hit that subscribe button. And do let me know what your biggest takeaway is from this video as well. I always love hearing, you know, all the comments and the questions, and even just updates in terms of your situation. So make sure you write them below, and I'll respond to every single one of you. And if you want to learn the 5 stresses that will destroy any relationship, click this video above. And if you want to learn how to save your marriage from the brink of divorce, click this video above. Thank you so much. God bless, and I'll talk to you in the next video.